I'm going to do something which I normally wouldn't do here, and I want to read you Brad Burton's 150-word bio because this thing's it's just awesome. And so I'm just going to roll through this as quick as possible. It is what I just said it is. Here we go. 1973, born, Salford, dad left, primary school, computer games, role-playing games, class clown, no qualifications, shop boy, BMX bikes, girls, chalet cleaner, nightclubbing, pothead, more girls, games, journalist, dad, shot at, moved away, depressed, dole, more pot, shop manager, blag CV, head of marketing, dole, director, Oxford sucked, dole, 3 days away from bankruptcy, father again, depressed, masonette over a chippy, married, employed, shove job up arse, self-employed, depression, skint, whinging wife, author, dad again, stopped smoking pot, founded 4 networking, bluffing, struggling, speaking, still, skint, dad, 5,000 plus 4 networking events a year, keynote speaker, bought dream Range Rover, still waiting to be found out, sold dream Range Rover, author again, people are buying them, highest reviewed 5-star Amazon business author, scratches head, burned out, near divorce, crisis averted, just, snapped up by top publisher, UK's #1 motivational speaker, still waiting to be found out. 150-word bio. Get in!
That's funny because my life flashed before me then. It's amazing. Anyone can do that with their own life. Actually it's probably a really good exercise actually for your audience to write 150 words that would describe to anyone. That when you're saying that then, hearing that back, and they're my words, right?
Yeah.
Just mind-blowing to think that was my life. And actually you look at any of those forks in the road where I could have stayed where I was, but somewhere along the way, the road to success is littered with, with just problems and trouble, and actually you've got to keep going. But that comes down to your why and where your destination is, which is what I've sort of kind of sussed out right now. My destination, I don't know if you want to get to it now, but my destination is wanting to be happy, because that's what every single person who's watching this right now wants to be happy. Right? They might say they want a new car, they want this, that and the other, but ultimately it all boils down to them wanting happiness. And I think I found it for the first time in my life at 41, 42 in another week's time.
Yeah, and I want to talk about that because we were here a year ago, and I want to find out what changes. What I love about when I read that is say for example, you'd seen Brad rolling down the street with his Range Rover, you'd be like, oh, that guy always had it made. He's always been in control and that kind of thing.
Bang on.
But like this, and Brad gives it to you real, like a hip hop artist here. Skint, above the chippy, all this bad stuff happening, and even when you think he's got it, he gets the Range Rover, then he sells the Range Rover, and then you think you have success, and then you don't, and it's Goosebumps.
He's
got the bumps
Brian,
as
seriously,
well.
You can't make that shit up.
Jesus, he really does have goosebumps.
Right, and this is what I'm trying to say, because I'm reading... Mate, you cannot make that up. You cannot make that up. And actually, what you're reading back to me is exactly what I try to do to inspire people. And when you said about hip-hop then, I grew up on hip-hop, and I just wonder, it's funny because the only thing that I can't do is spit bars. I can't do that. But funny enough, that is all I've ever done. All I've ever done is tell fucking stories about my life, and stories that inspire people and fire people up. That's all I've ever done in my life. Even before I was a motivational speaker. And bear in mind, look, the thing about being a motivational speaker, I wasn't born with that as a birth certificate. It said you're a motivational speaker. I've somehow morphed into it. But I've always done that. I've always motivated people. I've always drove people. I've always tried to get people the best, even when I've been at my worst. And that's, when you just flew that back to me then, Brian, that was goosebumps. That's mind-blowing, because you've nailed it, what I stand for, which is the underdog. I fight for the underdog. Every single time I fight for the underdog. But ultimately, the underdog needs to fight for itself, because, this is the thing, I can't do your press-ups for you. And I say this to all these people, and there's lots of questions that you get in there about people saying, hey, guess what, how do you motivate? Isn't it short-lived? Well, yes, it is, but it's down to you. And it's got to come from within. And this is what happened with me. I switched that on. I switched it on what my target was, where I was going, because without that, we'd just meander. Those guys again. Sorry to bring it back. No, I'm not going to go into
Brad's pointing across the room through the window, which I left open these days. If you're on YouTube, you can see I left the window open. You can see people that are working in the office next door. It's around 5:30, so they're thinking about leaving right now. And last time Brad was here, he was making some comments about them. What do you see when you look over there?
Well, listen, I see people who are conforming to a life that they don't want to do, people that are working later and longer for a business or a taskmaster that's not really, doesn't give two shits about them, to then go and spend that money that they've earned tonight to dampen down their feelings about the job. So they'll go out tonight as soon as they finish here and go and spend £100 in the bar.
Right, and then the cycle continues.
Correct.
So numb the lousy feelings. Don't make any changes with your life.
Correct.
Numb the lousy feelings.
Correct.
And go back.
And then, guess what? Great news, Brian. You've got a 3% pay rise. Well done on all your hard work. Thank you very much. And you continue on that process. And it takes a brave person, brave, so stupid, depending, delete as applicable, to actually go, you know what? I'm going to walk away from that, which is what I did. And people said I was mad. And every step of the way, when we started this interview, you said to me, what have we done? Networking, you're mad, Brad, you've got no chance. You can't call a book that, you're mad, you've got no chance. No one's going to take you seriously, you're mad. Actually, now, every single one of those, mad, I'm now a genius. So you've got to go through that. So somebody walking out of that job going, you know what, fuck this now. I've worked here for 3 years, I'm not feeling it. I'm leaving, I'm walking. Everyone says, oh, you're mad, don't go on, keep your head down, don't say. And this is it. So at some point in your life, where that point's now, you're watching this right now, at some point in your life, you're going to have to make a stand or don't. But be honest with yourself. If you're never going to go for it, stop looking wistfully out the window of self-employment. If you can't be bothered going to the gym and you're overweight, don't keep talking about it. Either accept that you don't want to go to the gym and it's not a big enough deal for you and you're quite happy overeating or whatever it be, or do something about it. But you can't go to both because these two directions, they don't go in the same way. And this is what we do. We end up, as I did for 31 years, looking at people with Range Rover Sports and going, God, it's all right for them.
Right. They must be different than me. They must be smarter. They must have gone to a better school.
Or the parents are giving money or they've got an education or whatever, bullshit. Right. So I don't have a qualification to my name. Not one. Not a single qualification. Not one. Dad was a heroin addict. I started my business off for 25 grand in debt, blah, 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 blah. I walked out, a newborn baby boy that I had, walked out of a job with no money. I had a wife telling me to go and get a proper job. What's your excuse? And that's what I say to people. What's your excuse? If vast majority of people have not had a worse, upbringing or a baseline that I have. So that's the point. What's your excuse? Because that excuse that you're telling yourself, and you will be telling your excuse, well, with this economic climate right now and the interest rates, shut up, get on with it.